Chapter 7. TAITTIRYA. Man, in his ignorance, identifies himself with the material sheaths that encompass his true self. Transcending these, he becomes one with Brahman, who is pure bliss. TAITTIRYA. May Mitra grant us peace. May Varuna grant us peace. May Aryama grant us peace. May Indra and Brihaspati grant us peace. May the all-pervading Vishnu grant us peace. Hail to Brahman, hail to thee, thou source of all power. Thou art indeed the manifested Brahman. Of thee will I speak. Thee will I proclaim in my thoughts as true. Thee will I proclaim on my lips as true. May truth protect me. May it protect my teacher. May it protect us both. May glory come to us both. May the light of Brahman shine in us both. Thou art Brahman, one with the syllable Om, which is in all scriptures, the supreme syllable, the mother of all sound. Do thou strengthen me with true wisdom. May I, O Lord, realize the immortal. May my body be strong and whole. May my tongue be sweet. May my ears hear only praise of thee. The syllable is verily thine image. Through this syllable thou mayest be attained. Thou art beyond the grasp of the intellect. Vouchsafe that I forget not what I have learned in the scriptures. Thou art the source of all happiness and of all prosperity. Do thou come to me as the goddess of prosperity and shower thy blessings upon me. May the seekers of the truth gather round me. May they come from everywhere, that I may teach them thy word. May I be a glory among men. May I be richer than the richest. May I enter into thee, O Lord, and mayest thou reveal thyself unto me. Purified am I by thy touch, O Lord, of manifold forms. Thou art the refuge of those who surrender themselves to thee. Reveal thyself to me. Make me thine own. I take my refuge in thee. Thou art the Lord, immortal, self-luminous, and of golden effulgence within the lotus of every heart. Within the heart art thou revealed to those that seek thee. He who dwells in thee becomes king over himself. He controls his wandering thoughts. He becomes master of his speech and of all his organs of sense. He becomes master of his intellect. Thou art Brahman, whose form is invisible like ether, whose self is truth. Thou art perfect peace and immortality, the solace of life, the delight of the mind. May I worship thee. Om is Brahman. Om is all. He who meditates on Om attains to Brahman. Having attained to Brahman, a sage declared, I am life. My glory is like the mountain peak. I am established in the purity of Brahman. I have attained the freedom of the self. I am Brahman, self-luminous, the brightest treasure. I am endowed with wisdom. I am immortal, imperishable. Om. peace, peace, peace. To a lay student, let your conduct be marked by right action, including study and teaching of the scriptures, by truthfulness in word, deed, and thought, by self-denial and the practice of austerity, by poise and self-control, by performance of the everyday duties of life with a cheerful heart and an unattached mind. Speak the truth. Do your duty. Do not neglect the study of the scriptures. Do not cut the thread of progeny. Swerve not from truth. Deviate not from the path of good. Revere greatness. Let your mother be a god to you. Let your father be a god to you. Let your teacher be a god to you. Let your guest also be a god to you. Do only such actions as are blameless. Always show reverence to the great. Whatever you give to others, give with love and respect. Gifts must be given in abundance, with joy, humility, and compassion. If at any time there is any doubt with regard to right conduct, follow the practice of great souls who are guileless, of good judgment, and devoted to truth. Thus conduct yourself always. This is the injunction, this is the teaching, and this is the command of the scriptures. He who knows Brahman attains the supreme goal. Brahman is the abiding reality. He is pure knowledge, and he is infinity. He who knows that Brahman dwells within the lotus of the heart becomes one with him and enjoys all blessings. Out of Brahman, who is the Self, came ether, out of ether air, out of air fire, out of fire water, out of water earth, out of earth vegetation, out of vegetation food, out of food the body of man. The body of man, composed of the essence of food, is the physical sheath of the self. From food are born all creatures which live upon food and after death return to food. Food is the chief of all things. It is therefore said to be medicine for all diseases of the body. Those who worship food as Brahman gain all material objects. From food are born all beings which, being born, grow by food. All beings feed upon food, and when they die, food feeds upon them. Different from the physical sheath is the vital sheath. This is encased in the physical sheath and has the same form. Through this, the senses perform their office. From this, men and beasts derive their life. This determines the length of life of all creatures. He who worships the vital sheath as Brahman lives to complete his span of life. This sheath is the living self of the physical sheath. Different from the vital sheath is the mental sheath. This is encased in the vital sheath and has the same form. Words cannot express the bliss of Brahman. Mind cannot reach it. The sage who knows it is freed from fear. The mental sheath is the living self of the vital sheath. Different from the mental sheath is the intellectual sheath. This is encased in the mental sheath and has the same form. All actions, sacrificial or otherwise, are performed through the intellect. All the senses pay homage to the intellectual sheath. He who worships intellect as Brahman does not err. He does not identify himself with the other sheaths and does not yield to the passions of the body. Different from the intellectual sheath is the sheath of the ego. This sheath is encased in the intellectual sheath and has the same form. Beyond all sheaths is the self. Vain and useless becomes his life who thinks of Brahman as non-existent. He alone who knows Brahman as existence truly lives. Surely at death a foolish man does not attain Brahman, but only a wise man. Desiring that he should become many, that he should make of himself many forms, Brahman meditated. Meditating, he created all things. Creating all things, he entered into everything. Entering into all things, he became that which has shape and that which is shapeless. He became that which can be defined and that which cannot be defined. He became that which has support and that which has not support. He became that which is conscious and that which is not conscious. He became that which is gross and that which is subtle. He became all things whatsoever. Therefore the wise call him the real. Concerning which truth it is written, before creation came into existence, Brahman existed as the unmanifest. From the unmanifest he created the manifest. From himself he brought forth himself. Hence he is known as the self-existent. The self-existent is the essence of all felicity. Who could live, who could breathe, if that blissful self dwelt not within the lotus of the heart? He it is that giveth joy. When a man finds his existence and unity in the self, who is the basis of life, who is beyond the senses, who is formless, inexpressible, beyond all predicates, then alone does he transcend fear. So long as there is at least the idea of separation from him, there is fear. To the man who thinks himself learned, yet knows not himself as Brahman, Brahman, who drives away all fear, appears as fear itself. Concerning which truth it is written, through fear of Brahman the wind blows and the sun shines. Through fear of him, Indra, the god of rain, Agni, the god of fire, and Yama, the god of death, perform their tasks. Who could live, who could breathe, if that blissful self dwelt not within the lotus of the heart? He it is that giveth joy. Oh, what nature is this joy? Consider the lot of a young man, noble, well-read, intelligent, strong, healthy, with all the wealth of the world at his command. Assume that he is happy and measure his joy as one unit. 100 times that joy is one unit of the joy of Gandharvas. But no less joy than Gandharvas has the seer to whom the self has been revealed and who is without craving. 100 times the joy of Gandharvas is one unit of the joy of celestial Gandharvas. But no less joy than celestial Gandharvas has the sage to whom the self has been revealed and who is without craving. 100 times the joy of celestial Gandharvas is one unit of the joy of the Pitris and their paradise. But no less joy than the Pitris in the paradise has the sage to whom the self has been revealed and who is without craving. 100 times the joy of the Pitris in the paradise is one unit of the joy of the Devas, but no less joy than the Devas has the sage to whom the self has been revealed and who is without craving. 100 times the joy of the Devas is one unit of the joy of the Karma Devas, but no less joy than the Karma Devas has the sage to whom the self has been revealed and who is without craving. 100 times the joy of the karma devas is 1 unit of the joy of the ruling devas. But no less joy than the ruling devas has the sage to whom the self has been revealed and who is without craving. 100 times the joy of the ruling devas is 1 unit of the joy of Indra. But no less joy than Indra has the sage to whom the self has been revealed and who is without craving. 100 times the joy of Indra is 1 unit of the joy of Brihaspati. But no less joy than Brihaspati has the sage to whom the self has been revealed and who is without craving. 100 times the joy of Brihaspati is 1 unit of the joy of Prajapati. But no less joy than Prajapati has the sage to whom the self has been revealed and who is without craving. 100 times the joy of Prajapati is 1 unit of the joy of Brahma. But no less joy than Brahma has the seer to whom the self has been revealed and who is without craving. He who is the self in man and he who is the self in the sun are one. Verily, he who knows this truth overcomes the world. He transcends the physical sheath. He transcends the vital sheath. He transcends the mental sheath. He transcends the intellectual sheath. He transcends the sheath of the ego. It is written, he who knows the joy of Brahman, which words cannot express and the mind cannot reach, is free from fear. He is not distressed by the thought, why did I not do what is right? Why did I do what is wrong? He who knows the joy of Brahman, knowing both good and evil, transcends both. Om. May Brahman protect us. May he guide us. May he give us strength and right understanding. May love and harmony be with us all. Bhrigu, respectfully approaching his father Varuna, said, Sir, teach me Brahman. Varuna explained to him the physical sheath and the vital sheath, and the function of the senses, and added, He from whom all beings are born, in whom they live, being born, and to whom at death they return, seek to know him. He is Brahman. Bhrigu practiced austerity and meditation. Then it seemed to him that food was Brahman, for of food all beings are born. By food they are sustained. Being born, and into food they enter after death. This knowledge, however, did not satisfy him. He again approached his father Varuna and said, Sir, teach me Brahman. Varuna replied, Seek to know Brahman by meditation. Meditation is Brahman. Bhrigu practiced meditation and learned that primal energy is Brahman. For from primal energy all beings are born. By primal energy they are sustained, being born, and into primal energy they enter after death. But Bhrigu was still doubtful about his knowledge, so he approached his father again and said, Sir, teach me Brahman. Varuna replied, Seek to know Brahman by meditation. Meditation is Brahman. Bhrigu practiced meditation and learned that mind is Brahman. For from mind all beings are born, by mind they are sustained, being born, and into mind they enter after death. Still doubtful, he approached his father and said, Sir, teach me Brahman. His father replied, Seek to know Brahman by meditation. Meditation is Brahman. Bhrigu practiced meditation and learned that intellect is Brahman, for from intellect all beings are born. By intellect they are sustained, being born, and into intellect they enter after death. Not yet satisfied, doubting his understanding, Bhrigu approached his father and said, Sir, teach me Brahman. Varuna replied, Seek to know Brahman by meditation. Meditation is Brahman. Bhrigu practiced meditation and learned that joy is Brahman, for from joy all beings are born. By joy they are sustained, being born, and into joy they enter after death. This is the wisdom which Bhrigu, taught by Varuna, attained within his heart. He who attains this wisdom wins glory, grows rich, enjoys health and fame. Brahman is to be meditated upon as the source of all thought and life and action. He is the splendor in wealth. He is the light in the stars. He is all things. Let a man meditate upon Brahman as support, and he will be supported. Let him meditate upon Brahman as greatness, and he will be great. Let him meditate upon Brahman as mind, and he will be endowed with intellectual power. Let him meditate upon Brahman as adoration, and he will be adored. Let him worship Brahman as Brahman, and he will become Brahman. He who is the self in man, and he who is the self in the sun, are one. I am that self. I am life, immortal. I overcome the world. I who am endowed with golden effulgence. Those who know me achieve reality. Om. Peace, peace. Chapter 8. AITAREYA. Brahman, source, sustenance, and end of the universe, partakes of every phase of existence. He wakes with a waking man, dreams with a dreamer, and sleeps with the deep sleep of the dreamless sleeper. But he transcends these three states to become himself. His true nature is pure consciousness. AITAREYA. May my speech be one with my mind, and may my mind be one with my speech. O thou self-luminous Brahman, remove the veil of ignorance from before me, that I may behold thy light. Do thou reveal to me the spirit of the Scriptures. May the truth of the Scriptures be ever present to me. May I seek day and night to realize what I learn from the sages. May I speak the truth of Brahman. May I speak the truth. May it protect me. May it protect my teacher. Peace, peace, peace. Before creation, all that existed was the self alone. Nothing else was. Then the self thought, let me send forth the worlds. He sent forth these worlds. Abbas, the highest world above the sky, and upheld by it. Marishi, the sky. Mara, the mortal world, the earth. And Appa, the world beneath the earth. He thought, behold the worlds. Let me now send forth their guardians. Then he sent forth their guardians. He thought, behold these worlds and the guardians of this world. Let me send forth food for the guardians. Then he sent forth food for them. He thought, how shall they be guardians, and I have no part in them? If without me speech is uttered, breath is drawn, eye sees, ear hears, skin feels, mind thinks, sex organs procreate, then what am I? He thought, let me enter the guardians, where upon opening the center of their skulls he entered. The door by which he entered is called the door of bliss. The self being unknown, all three stages of the soul are but dreaming, waking, dreaming, and dreamless sleep. In each of these dwells the self. The I is his dwelling place while he wake. The mind is his dwelling place while we dream. The lotus of the heart is his dwelling place while we sleep the dreamless sleep. Having entered into the guardians, he identified himself with them. He became many individual beings. Now, therefore, if an individual awake from his threefold dream of waking, dreaming, and dreamless sleep, he sees no other than the Self. He sees the Self dwelling in the lotus of his heart as Brahman, omnipresent, and he declares, I know Brahman. Who is this Self whom we desire to worship? Of what nature is this Self? Is he the Self by which we see form, hear sound, smell odor, speak words, and taste the sweet or the bitter? Is he the heart and the mind by which we perceive, command, discriminate, know, think, remember, will, feel, desire, breathe, love, and perform other like acts? Nay, these are but adjuncts of the Self, who is pure consciousness, and this Self, who is pure consciousness, is Brahman. He is God, all gods, the five elements, earth, air, fire, water, ether, all beings, great or small, born of eggs, born from the womb, born from heat, born from soil, horses, cows, men, elephants, birds, everything that breathes, the beings that walk and the beings that walk not. The reality behind all these is Brahman, who is pure consciousness. All these, while they live and after they have ceased to live, exist in him. The sage Vamadeva, having realized Brahman as pure consciousness, departed this life, ascended into heaven, obtained all his desires, and achieved immortality.